expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production of Glory 93.9 FM.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Wardrobe provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com. And good morning, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. And as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always a pleasure to see you here. So today we're calling the show Debate Dynamics. And we're going to be looking at this debate that we've been hearing so much about that is being coordinated by the University of the Bahamas and Verizon Media Group. And the reason why this debate is getting so much attention is because of the Governing Free National Movement's decision that it didn't want to participate. Now, I'm not saying that people weren't going to pay attention to the debate before. I'm pretty sure that they will. But, you know, when the governing party, who everybody really wants to hear from, decides that, no, I don't think I want to face that music, then obviously it raises some questions. And they claimed that they had several challenges with the way that the debate was being put together. And so we have on the show today Professor Chris Curry from the University of the Bahamas. And we're going to be joined a little later on by Ava. What is Ava's last name again? Hi, Chris. Ava Turnquist. She's going to join us in about half an hour. And they're pretty much here to sort of explain, describe for us the dynamics of this debate. I don't know if they're going to go into it at all today as to why they think the Free National Movement decided that they didn't want to be a part of it. But we definitely will talk about the dynamics of the debate. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Yes, it's great to be here. Thank you so much, Michelle, for having us.
You're welcome. So I want to begin by playing a clip. This is a portion of a report that was aired by Eyewitness News when it was announced that the Free National Movement would not participate in the debate. So here is that reaction. Do we have that clip ready, Delton?
Political debates were announced by the University of the Bahamas on April 15th in conjunction with Verizon Media, the parent company of Eyewitness News. 4 debates are expected to be aired live between May 4th and June 15th, involving political candidates from the various parties. According to a statement from the FNM chairman Carl Culmer, though a party's member's name was sent in to represent the party, he said the Prime Minister never responded to the letter request from the University of the Bahamas. Upon further investigations, the party claimed to have found other issues with the process. Among them, the fact that only one media house had an active part in the debate. This they claimed to be unfair. It also suggested that the proposed guidelines of the debate are not in line with the Westminster system used in Jamaica or Canada. The FNM suggested based on those guidelines that parties should have obtained at least 4 to 5% of the votes in the previous election, hold at least one seat in the House of Representatives, have candidates in at least 90% of constituencies, and the process being held by a completely independent body.
Come with all of your pontification of what represents or what makes up or what form, how a political party is formed. That is not the issue here. The issue is if you want to be a representative, a member of parliament, then there are other people who are vying for the very same position. Then you tell the people what you're offering versus what they're offering.
But they have lost quite a bit of ground in regards to the interest of the Bahamian people.
If other stations want to do it, ZNS can have their debate. All right, there was a debate before that was held by another media company during a by-election, and the FNM didn't show up then either.
The Progressive Liberal Party chairman, Fred Mitchell, while he admits the opposition also has some concerns, he suggests that there was a much better way for the Free National Movement to deal with their grievances.
We want to work with them on the modalities and who will participate and all of those things. But what we don't want to do is to give the impression that the FNM is now giving, that they just don't want a one-on-one debate between the two leaders.
Okay, Chris, so when you hear the excuses, and that's what they pretty much boil down to, the excuses by the Free National Movement as to why they did not want to be a part of this debate, how do you respond to that?
Well, you know, actually, some of their concerns are legitimate, and we've actually been trying to adjust to them. Our concern was they could have negotiated with us in private instead of making a public statement the way they did. So I'll just share with you some of the things that we've been doing over the last 2 weeks. Okay. We've sent out an invitation to the press club to be involved in endorsing the debate. We've also now reached out to another media house and media personality to be a moderator. We've continued to go on various radio shows and talk shows and televised shows to again demonstrate that we're not one media house that's driving this event. This is a national series of debates. And so as such, we're trying to involve as many groups as possible. We're also looking at involving some NGOs and other interest groups in helping us to coordinate and plan the debates that are coming up. And so we're not singularly attached to one media house, though we do have an MOU with Verizon specifically for the polling and owning of the data generated from the polling, and also for the logistics of actually developing the debates going forward. So what I wanted to say is we're trying to turn the page really on the whole fiasco with the FNM sitting out of this debate. We are still actually privately working with them. I'm sure I'm open to any opportunity they may have to come back in. There'll always be a spot on the podium, on the platform stage at UB for the FNM because they are the government. And we are looking forward to them coming back. But if they don't, the show will still go on. We have a really exciting lineup of youth debaters. And I hope we have a chance to talk about them today because that is really what we want to focus on now, the debates coming up. And the first one is on May 11th, which is, you know, literally 1 week away.
Okay, so we're going to focus on them right now, but we got to deal with the elephant in the room. So are you hopeful based on your talks with the government that there is a possibility that they may come back to the table and be a part of this, or you pretty much are ruling that out and just being courteous by informing them of what's going on?
No, I'm absolutely always optimistic. I know that there's been some behind the scenes negotiations, so I can't say too much about it, but I know that there is an effort to continue to reach out to the FNM. I know that they have a particular format that they want for the debate. We're looking at that, but we still have, moving forward right now, 4 thematic debates. and we're trying to make this as democratic as possible. We want a fair, equitable, and egalitarian debate format. Right now, we have 6 parties that are going to be debating on the 11th of May, and all of these 6 parties have provided a youth debater, someone who is between the ages of 18 and 35. And so the optics are going to be really good for that debate. And again, we hope the F&M do come back. We are always open to constructive criticism. I've been saying that all along. And so we hope to continue to negotiate with them privately.
Okay. And can you, and if you can't, it's okay, but can you reveal what format they were pretty much interested in using?
I think, and I could probably say this too for the official opposition, they're looking for a debate that has a smaller number of parties engaged. I know they had, like you would have said in your news piece there, they had concerns about if a party could pool less than 5% or exceed more than 5% of the total population, have candidates in all 39 ratified constituencies, and so forth. So those might be things we might look at as we move forward into the 3rd and 4th debates. Definitely looking at polling and data to determine who may or may not be involved in those debates. So we'll look at that sort of thing. And in fact, I would say as we mature as a country, we should have an independent debate commission that would have those kind of criteria in place as standard practice for determining who debates moving forward.
Okay, got it. All right, so let's now talk about these young people that are coming up on the 11th. Who are the organizations that are represented, that have representatives who will be participating in the debate on the 11th?
Right. So I'm proud to be able to not just tell you the organizations and party affiliation, but also the actual names of our debaters.
Let's do it.
So we have from the Progressive Liberal Party, Justin Smith. He's a young university student, and he's actually coming all the way from Minnesota to debate. So we're happy to have Justin Smith representing the Progressive Liberal Party. He's a graduate of C.R. Walker. So he's proud to have come out of a government school system, the public school system, and has done a stellar job already in his young career. He's already a veteran debater. He's been involved in the national high school debates. He's also debated in other competitions. So you're talking about someone who already has under his belt some degree of experience in debating. For the DNA,
okay, I think Chris is having some internet issues, it looks like. Okay,
can
Chris,
you hear me now?
yeah, we can hear you now. You froze there for a second. So we only heard the ending of the Progressive Liberal Party's representative, and you started.
No problem. If I can continue then. The DNA is going to have as their debater Boykin Smith, and he's a very young aspirant. He's actually been ratified by the party to run in the next general election. He's training as a lawyer. He has a degree in political science already, and he has had some experience with debating in the past. So this is not someone who's just going out on the platform for the first time to debate. He, like Justin, has experience. And then we talk about the coalition of independents. Cara Ellis is going to be debating for that group. And of course, she is one of the founders of the coalition, and she has already generated a lot of interest, and she has experience debating again from the national high school debating system. So again, you have an experienced debater. Now, moving forward, we have Alexander Kemp. He is representing the KGM group. That's the Kingdom Government Movement. And he is excited about the debate. And so we look forward to having Mr. Kemp on the floor. From the BCP, we have a very interesting candidate here. The BCP is going to have Shaquille Johnson as their debater. And Shaquille, I think he's 25 years old, so he's still relatively young. And he's going to bring passion and excitement to that debate. And then we also have Willanique Wilson. She's actually a UB student, but she's the debater for the BDM. That's the party that is led by Cassius Stewart. And so we have a lot of excitement about a UB student, but also a person who's attached to a party debating for the BDM. So those are, I think I've covered the 6 debaters, and we're really happy to have them all participate. I'll tell you, yesterday, Michelle, I was able to interview all 6 of them, and I came away from those interviews so impressed by the quality of these young people in their thinking and their ability to take on the moment, to go into a nationally televised event and do something like this.
Sounds exciting. I'm familiar with some of those young people, and I can tell you they are quite bright. So it should make for a very good conversation. And so what are some of the topics that are going to be covered during the debate? Like, what can we expect from the dialogue?
Right. Thank you so much. What we did was last week, when we nailed down the 6 debaters, we actually sent out what we call scripted questions. And there's 4 scripted questions that they were given, but there's only going to be 3 that will appear in the debate. So
how long will the debate be?
It'll be a 2-hour televised debate from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. prime time.
Okay.
Right. So if I could, the questions range on a number of issues related to youth. So the first one that they will look at is the issue of the brain drain. What we're finding is increasingly our brightest and smartest young people are leaving the Bahamas to go off to universities in the US, Canada, and Great Britain and other places, and they don't come back. And so increasingly we're faced with the smartest and brightest not coming back, and that creates a problem. And so we want to ask that question: how do we stop or stall the brain drain? We also have a question about incarceration, right? We have a high rate of youth incarceration, and we're tying that to the issue of legalizing or decriminalizing marijuana. And so that's another question that we're looking at. A third question that we're looking at is assessing the Quiet Revolution and the extent to which it fulfilled its lofty goals, and whether or not we have really moved towards a more democratic society since 1967. So there's a nice historical question in there for them, and I guess I could claim to be the author of that question. The last question is looking at youth entrepreneurship. How do we engage our young people in the economy at the micro level? How do we engage them in job opportunities? So it's a question that's tied to the economy, really, but tied specifically to youth entrepreneurship. So those are the 4 questions that they've already received, and of those 4, 3 will show up on Tuesday night next week. On top of that, there's going to be at least two audience-generated questions, Michelle. And these are questions that are coming from focus groups across the archipelago, from Grand Bahama in the north to Cat Island and Long Island in the south. You know, we really want to make this debate a national debate series. And so we can't just think Nassau-centrically, right? And so the focus groups are where the audience-generated questions are going to come from. And so the debaters are going to have to think on their feet and be able to answer a question without preparation. And so you're going to have 3 scripted questions as well as 2 audience-generated questions. And so basically you have 5 questions in total, which will take the course of 2 hours to complete.
Wow. Sounds like it's going to be really good. And so you mentioned that another station has been invited to, another media house has been invited to provide a moderator. So what will that look like in terms of who will be actually running the show?
Right. So we're again looking at the optics of this first debate, and we really want to focus on youth. So, you know, initially I thought I might have been put down as a moderator. I'm a co-chair of the event, but I realized I'm turning 50 this year, so I may not qualify as being youthful. So we're looking at having, first of all, we want to have a young male. So we do have a young male. This would be Shelby McPhee, and he's an adjunct lecturer at UB. He's not attached to any media house. But we are looking at a young female moderator from another media house or television show. I don't want to give it away because we're still negotiating with her. But we definitely want to have the optics is we want to have 2 young moderators, and we want to make sure we have a male and a female. And so that's the scenario we have played out. And by Thursday this week, we should be able to confirm who the female moderator will be. But she's not attached to Verizon and Eyewitness News. I'll just say that much.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll have to wait and see who that female will be. Okay. So tell me a little bit about the work that went into preparing this debate, like from the idea, the conception of the idea to where we are today. What did it take for UB with Verizon to put this together?
Right. So, 4 years ago in 2017, we had a series of what we call town hall meetings, which were debates essentially, and we organized them thematically so that each debate was focusing on a different topic that we thought was really important to the development of the Bahamas. So we thought we would carry that same concept forward to this debate. And so we have indeed come up with 4 thematic debates. The first one is on youth issues, and that can transcend a number of different things, as I've suggested already. We're then going to have a thematic debate likely on health, which will be coming up on June 1st. And of course, healthcare and COVID is a huge issue, right? Because we're dealing with a third wave right now. We're dealing with issues around a vaccination schedule. We're dealing with legal issues, whether or not it should be mandatory, for example, for employers to make employees take a vaccine, right? And then, of course, the issue of how do you plan forward with vaccinations in a country in which we're limited in number of vaccines coming. We need more. And then the issue of the constitutionality of extending the emergency orders over a year, right? So all of those things are built into what you can anticipate for the second debate on June 1st. The last 2 debates, one is going to be on the economy and unemployment, and the other one is going to be on the Constitution. We're likely going to leave the economy one to the very end, to number 4. And the constitutional debate will be number 3. And again, we thought about these topics because we were looking at what were the most important national issues that Bahamians want to hear debated. And that kind of drove our thinking. So I guess I'll pause there for now. Any comments or reactions to what I've said?
So, okay, we have actually a caller on the line. So, well, the call dropped. We had a caller on the line. Perhaps they'll call right back. All right, let me read a comment from one of our Facebook viewers. Siobhan says, "Good morning, Bahamas. I have to say that I'm so disappointed." And here's the caller. Okay, caller, hold on for me. Let me finish reading this comment, please. "Good morning, Bahamas. I have to say that I'm so disappointed in this current administration in more ways than I can mention on this platform. I, like many others, made an appeal for a national televised debate with Clint. Oh, I guess they meant to say made an appeal for a national televised debate with Clint Watson, Michelle Malcolm, Nahaja Black, and Shanique Miller as the moderators in several posts. I had also mentioned that some topic choices can be economic stimulus plans, immigration, health reform, to name a few, with a 5 to 10 year strategic plan for the entire Bahamas." All right, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good morning, Michelle. How are you doing this morning?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. And your guest is Dr. Chris Curry?
Yes.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Pretty good, thank you. I'm very encouraged to hear that UB is undertaking this very necessary national democratic enhancing initiative. So I want to congratulate you and your team.
Thank you
for undertaking this endeavor. One of the things I would like to humbly suggest, Dr. Curry, is that UB does not allow the political parties to dictate how those debates should be organized or presented, because if that ends up happening, then, look, in other words, we want to see a UB debate that has no biases in it, rather than a debate that is being influenced, albeit subtly, by the input and by any political party, because the FNM's refusal to participate was based on what they said the format was not to their liking, or words to that effect. And if they are the governing party, they should be able to handle any format in regards to debating issues, in my opinion. So I would encourage your team to continue. You guys set the format. You guys establish the criteria, and those who are willing and mature enough to come to the table and answer the Bahamian people through that debate would be the ones that the Bahamian people obviously will listen to.
All right.
One last thing, Michelle, and I want to pose this to Dr. Curry in regards to constitutionality of our system here. Dr. Curry, can you please, in your constitutional debate, help the Bahamas to have clarification on what a two-party system means? Why do I say that? Because a lot of people are of the view that two-party means only the FNM and the PLP. And from what I've learned and from what I've studied over the years, two-party means that only two-party would be involved. It doesn't mean that those two parties or two-party system has only to be including the FNM or the PLP. That can be any two political parties, the DNA and the BDM, for example, or XYZ and ZYX parties, for example. So can you folks please try to put it only as a matter of clarification and information to the public to educate and enlighten the public as to what the two-party system means so that a lot of this misunderstanding can be dispelled? And I'll hang up and listen. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks for calling. Chris, you want to respond?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting thoughts that go into what I want to say on that point, because you could argue that we have a two-party system within the current parliamentary setup, meaning that in the current House of Assembly, because of the last general election, only two parties were able to get members to Parliament by election, right? But if you look at our political system outside of Parliament, you could argue that we've never really had a two-party system. And in fact, even in Parliament, there have been moments in Bahamian history where there have been third and fourth parties in Parliament. And even now, may I dare say, Reese Chipman represents an independent who sits in the House of Assembly. And yes, he was originally FNM. But he has decided by conscience or otherwise to go independent. So even in our current House of Assembly, you could argue that we don't have just a two-party system. We have an independent. In the past, I go back to 1972 to 77, you had a fracturing of the political divide. The FNM actually split, and the BDP became at one point the official opposition. They actually had more seats than the FNM, which only had 2 in the House of Assembly. And then the BDP split, and there was an SDP. So you had the SDP, the BDP, the FNM, the PLP between 72 and 77. That was a period in Bahamian history that was quite interesting, and more needs to be written actually about that period. And then if you go to...
I want you to stick a pin in that because we have a caller who's been hanging on for a while. So let's go to them so we don't lose the call. Caller, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Michelle?
Great, how are you?
Super, and good day to the Bahamian people and everyone on Facebook who listening and chiming in. Brother Curry, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
I'm just simply calling to voice my concern as relates to the debate, or my opinion, I should say, not really concern. Or at least, yes, it is a concern because, Michelle, you know what I'm concerned about? That the real questions or some other questions are not going to be put to these different people. And that is why I like to have my say every day that God give me life and grant me life. Just so everyone can understand. I am not waiting on no debate. I'll start it right from here in my humble abode where the truth has a new home even. Okay? And only the sun, okay, covers the Bahamas better than the truth. Where the truth have a new home. Come on now, let's talk sense.
Do you have a question for Chris?
Yes, lovely.
What's your question?
Guess what it is?
What?
I am a little offended, Chris. You come to where the truth has a new home, and you have not invited such a beautiful lady and professional lady to moderate. Just what is that the word I'm supposed to be using?
Oh my God!
Yes, I am now, brother Chris. That's only a joke now. So just smile now. Work with me here. I'm 50, and I'm gonna be 51 on the 2nd of June. So work with me here. Come on now, man, Chris, man. Help me out here, man. I gone.
Let me answer that. Michelle. He made you blush a little bit. Let me just say, Michelle, we're not against the idea of bringing a brilliant media personality like yourself in. Like I said, we're open to a lot of ideas. So that brings us back to the previous caller, because I really want to underscore, when we try to do national debates, it's really important that you be as inclusive as possible in its praxis and its practice. In other words, I hear the point that the caller said we have to determine the format and don't listen to the parties. But if you want to have the parties there, you have to give some degree of concessions, and we did that for this first debate. We listened to some of the objections that were actually very, very good objections. They were good, and we listened and we adjusted. And so we're not against adjusting as well in the future. But at some point we have to lay down the rules of the law, and we have to go forward, which we've done. But yes, I have always thought of myself as a consensus builder. And that's how I work in building up events. And this is like no other, because we are working with another media house as it relates to the planning and the data owning. But we're working with other people, with the parties and other media houses and other media personalities. And so we welcome good, constructive criticism on all fronts. That's why I come on shows like this. I'm not afraid to say that, and I'm not afraid to admit that, there's always work to be done.
Good stuff. Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Professor Chris Curry from the University of the Bahamas, and hopefully by then we will be joined by Ava Turnquist as well. Still waiting for her to sign on. This is GPS, and you are listening to Glory 93.9 FM.
Glory 93.9 FM. We're chasing after God's glory.
Located on Carmichael Road, Divine Designs Hair Boutique is a haven for women and men looking for professional beauty services. Our state-of-the-art and contemporary equipment creates a relaxing ambiance for you to enjoy while we cater to you. Need a hairstylist? We cater to all types and textures of hair for care and styling. We even have a barber on duty. Need a nail tech? Our technicians provide a range of nail services, including the latest trends. Unwind in one of our massage chairs while you get your pedicure. With our reasonable rates, friendly staff, and over 20 years of experience, you will be in great hands. Call us at 823-1669 or 698-1025 to schedule your appointment. Want to be pampered? Want to be slayed? Let Divine Designs make your day.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Youngevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and my guest today is Professor Chris Curry from the University of the Bahamas, who is here to talk about the debates, a series of debates that are coming up. I'm calling this show Debate Dynamics. And we've just received word that Ava can't make it anymore, Chris. She apparently has an emergency that she had to pay some attention to. So it's just you and I today, okay?
Yes, that's right.
All right. So I want to read a comment from one of our Facebook viewers. It says, I saw a post that only showed, I believe, one or two media stations covering this debate. And to my surprise, ZNS, the Bahamas news station, was not one of them. Is that true?
Well, I wouldn't say that. We've reached out to a lot of media houses since we announced the event. As a matter of fact, our first press conference, which was hosted by the university, we sent out a media invite to everyone. And we can't control who shows up to our press conferences. We can only do our due diligence in making sure that we send out an invite to everyone. So like I've said all along, we've been very inclusive in handling this debate. And it's not being controlled by one media house. You'll know that I could tell you now, I've been on Howard Grant's show, and I don't have to mention to anyone who knows Howard Grant that he actually is a radio personality and he has a show on ZNS. So we have been very deliberate in making sure that we connect with all people. In fact, I have at least 3 or 4 connections with persons that work at ZNS. When I sent out our information to them, they were very excited and they relayed it to their manager. So again, we have been very intentional and inclusive in reaching out to all media houses in all respects.
Where will the debate be aired? Where can people watch it or listen to it?
Okay, so there's a couple of ways. Obviously, you could tune in to Island Lux cable channel and watch it on TV. You can also watch it by a live stream on their Facebook live stream page. You can also watch it, I should say, listen to it on the radio because it will also be on the radio. And I'm thinking that there's also another social media opportunity, whether it be through Twitter or the UB Facebook page as well, where you could also tune in that way. So there's probably about 4 or 5 ways that you'll be able to watch the debate.
But for now, ILTV is the only station that will be carrying it.
As far as I know, yeah.
Any thought to going forward? When you, like in the United States, for instance, when they have the debate between the political candidates, it's often carried on several stations all at once, live. And I guess this would have been more a question for Ava, but she's not able to be here anymore, as we said earlier. But is that a consideration for perhaps future debates?
My understanding in the U.S., and I've watched the U.S. debates with great interest, each debate is carried on a different station. So, like, to be fair, one debate would be carried by Fox, one would be carried by NBC, and another would be carried by ABC, just say, or maybe CNN. So they then have the capacity, if they wish, to send that telecast out to other affiliates or other media houses. Mm-hmm. So we definitely want to consider that in the future, but we are mindful that we had signed an MOU with a particular media house. Right. Given the size and demographics of our country, it makes sense to work with them, particularly at this stage, in fielding the television broadcast. But what I want to do is, again, underscore, we've been working with other media houses in other ways, and we've been very intentional about that. Right.
Okay, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, good morning to you, Miss Michelle Malcolm, and good morning to Professor Curry, Berenice Johnson, the original. Mr. Curry.
Yes.
I need to know, okay, in this situation now that we are facing, I love my young people because they used to listen to me on the Eye Opener when I spoke to them about the eugenics and all that. Now, my question is, how will you involve certain aspects of how the solution to causing each and every dwelling home to have access to the basic necessities? This doesn't really apply to the young people. We welcome them, but however, I know that one thing, our senior politicians must be involved, and that includes former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram, my model boss. Good day. I will listen for the answer. Thank you.
Well, we've already started working on the second, the third, and the fourth debate, even though our focus is on May 11th, which is next Tuesday, the youth debate. But I will tell you, for the debate on the economy, and even the debate when we get talking about constitutional reform, the question of wealth inequality is a huge one. We have at least 2 or 3 questions that we're looking at tweaking that deal with this whole issue of the wealth divide in the Bahamas. We have a society where we have increasingly the haves and the have-nots. And the chasm between the have and the have-nots is growing. Yes, it's been certainly made worse or accelerated or exacerbated by COVID-19 and Dorian. But really, if you track the history and the development of our country from the 1970s to the present, you will see that the divide was always growing. And to me, that's one of the biggest issues facing our country and its future is wealth inequality. So that is going to be addressed in a number of the debates that we have planned.
All right, I want to read another comment from WhatsApp, and then we're going to go to another call. This comment says, not from WhatsApp, sorry, from Facebook. This comment by Tanisha says, speaks volumes that the nation's news stations won't be covering this great progress forward in this country, a first time ever debate, and it speaks volumes to the PM that he declined. Shake my head, a total disgrace. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would just like to tell Ms. Bernice Johnson how much she irks people out here when she said that model God thing. There's only one God. I should put no other God before me. Now, sir, and good morning again. Sir, I just want you to explain quickly as you can, what is a banana republic and how we won? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for calling.
So the concept of a banana republic has often been applied to a lot of Latin American countries, and it's sort of a pejorative, obviously, coming from the United States perspective. But what it implies is that you have a country in which you have the rulers being an oligarchy, or as Howard Johnson would say, an agro-commercial oligarchy. But the interests of the country is usually controlled by a select group of landed merchants or wealthy aristocrats. And the idea, too, in a banana republic is that cronyism and nepotism reign, meaning that a lot of positions are given to friends and family members, as opposed to giving a position to a person based on their content of their character or the degrees they've earned. And so usually when you think about banana republic, you think of a mismanaged, underdeveloped, and corrupt-ridden country.
Okay, now obviously the caller asked that question for a specific reason, and I would think that the reason the question was asked will sort of lead me into my next question, and that is, how important are events like these debates to a healthy democracy, and why is it important that we continue to have these open dialogues where people who are in positions of authority are made to answer the public?
Absolutely, that you nailed it. To me, Michelle, that's the reason why we're doing this. We're trying to change the political culture of our country by hosting these debates. That's why I'm so committed to this, because what we see is in the past, political parties got away with basically parading on a stage at a rally and playing a lot of loud music and preaching to their converted, those who show up at the rally. We have not had the opportunity ever really in our country on a national stage to actually discuss policy and platform and to debate actual issues that are affecting Bahamians. And so with our debates, the value of it is deepening democracy through a rigorous and robust debate on national issues, where political parties are now forced to actually address very germane and relevant questions. Those are things that we would not have gotten before at a rally. That's our sort of inherited legacy of our political culture, which is the rally. But I'm saying we need to move beyond that and get to a more robust discussion about the issues that are affecting all of us. And that's what we intend to do.
Agreed. We have another caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, sir. Good day to you all.
Hi, good day.
Hello?
Yes,
yes. My concern is about the debate. It's the question that's going to be asked. I mean, see, we notice in the United States, the majority of the questions that are asked are driven by the progressives. You see, meaning those who that are socioeconomic, the socioeconomic infrastructure, things like the inequality in wages, the inequality in wealth, things like the single payer health and national insurance system, things like the livable wage, things like public housing, and taxation. You see, like what's going on with Biden today. Biden isn't governing by his vision. Biden is governing by the visions of the people that support him, the progressives. Most of all the progressive policies, when we do polls, the Americans, the majority overwhelmingly support the progressive agenda. See, we look at this country as progressive, as being progressive is creating wealth. You see. But that's not progressive, because the progressives believes that you got to protect the proletarians in our country and our society. I mean, the workers. You see, it's about things that's going to help the workers, not. And when anytime you create wealth, you create deprivation and the like, and you increase the we look at people like Elon Musk and the guy from Facebook and Microsoft and say they're great. What's greatness? Greatness to the progressive is Martin Luther King. You see, and Mahatma Gandhi. This is who's great for us. You see, we look at the people who are intelligent and creating wealth for themselves and can do it for interest, for special group of a small group of society. You see, we need
okay. I need you to bring it home.
One more question.
Yeah.
We need some questions on the disparity of our constituencies, the amount of members in our constituencies, like Saudi Lucha, not Saudi Lucha, Michael, Inagua, and Karan and Rumkey, 4,000 voters stick together. That's equivalent to one average. And then you get places like Andres. The two Andres together is only 4,000 and a little. You see, so from these questions are not being asked, and not the questions on pandemic, the issues pandemic, that's automatic,
Caller, bring it home, caller. Bring it home, caller. We got other people trying to get on. Bring it home.
Ask him to address at least some of the things I'm saying, please.
Okay. Thank you for calling. Chris, you want to respond?
Yeah, really quickly. That's why we have the focus groups throughout the Family Islands, because we want to make sure that people have an opportunity to ask their questions. We only have 3 scripted questions per debate. Those are the ones we came up with. But the great delight of the debate, I feel, is going to be in the unscripted, audience-generated questions from the focus groups. And so you have the opportunity to ask your own questions. We're not telling you what the questions should be in those unscripted questions.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good morning, Michelle. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great to be back. I just wanted to touch on the fact that, well, of course, we all know the F&M is not going to put their hats in this discussion, this debate, and it's not surprising. What I'm reminded of is driving past the Portion Control of Robinson Road early on in the last election, and the big banner talking about transparency, and that was placed there, endorsed by the FNM. And you mentioned something about wealth earlier, Dr. Curry, and it made me look at one of the comments. If you scroll down and some of the comments right there, talking about the differentiation in wealth from the 70s, as you described, until now. The slow decline, well, they call it rapid decline. But especially since the storm and the pandemic, there's basically no middle class anymore. There's some topics that need to be addressed. If the Competent Authority was really concerned about Bahamians and how they thrive, the economy is as if things are just the way they're supposed to be, because that's how it always was, and there's no attempt in changing the status quo. You know, I'm also thinking that they may not want to get involved because the wrong questions may be asked that may incriminate them. That's also something that obviously crossed my mind. I'm just call a spade a spade. All right, there has been a lot of injustice, you know, on the Bahamian people under this government. They are not prepared to answer the tough questions that need to be addressed. For example, the institutionalized setup that it seems to be designed to keep the foot on the neck of the average Bahamian. Why is it that, for example, in 2020, it's been the highest spike in food products from the major food stores, and the price control has been nowhere to be found. The prices on general items on the shelf in Solomon's and Super Value, you know, you can't put a name on it. You know, I go back to thinking of, say, but 10 years ago.
Okay, caller, I need you to bring this home now.
Okay, I'll leave it as that.
Okay, it's just that we got people trying to get on, and you know, this isn't you know, a show for us to go into all of the issues that we think are, you know, the important issues in terms of. I mean, we all know what our problems are, but this show is pretty much talking about this debate series. Okay, so I don't want to go too far down that road when others are trying to get on with questions that they have as it relates to the debate series. Okay, so if you have a question specifically for Professor Curry, let's go ahead and ask the question. But we can't afford to, you know. In other words, the debate ain't starting until the 11th. So.
I got you.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. All right. Okay. So I want to read a couple of comments from our Facebook audience. Let's see. Where did it go? Okay. Siobhan says, it gives us an inside look into how these potential candidates handle national issues. We have to change the political culture and mindset in the country. And that is the point. Bertha says, stop all rallies and just hold debates for a year. Good luck with that, Bertha. And here's why that ain't happen. Siobhan says, people like their free food and drinks.
but here's the thing. In the advent of COVID, where you can't have rallies right now, then think about our debates is the best thing that you could possibly offer your followers. If you're a party, you have a platform that you can't run away from. Think about it. You have a chance to give your policy, your position. You're able to distance yourself from the other parties in a way. You debate well, and you're doing that on a nationally televised broadcast. So to me, I can't see why any party would want to shy away from our debates.
Well, in all fairness, Chris, fairness, that's not what happens at rallies.
No, I know that.
They get up on the podium, and this is why I believe some people scared to come on this debate because at a rally, it's really just this big party.
It's It's a party and preaching, right? Because you're not going to have anyone.
You don't even have to preach no real message. You just throw a couple slogan, I'm pumping music.
Music.
No substance whatsoever. You ain't talking about no plans. You ain't talking about no future. Just big party. So now you're talking about having to stand in front of your opponents and answer real questions.
Yeah.
Some people scared of that.
I agree. And
the question for us should be why? Why are you scared?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. And I have never, this is just my personal view. I've never been a fan of the rally for all the things that you just said, because it's very shallow and superficial. You don't extract from the rally any real policy or position statement. You don't get a sense of what the political ideology or the platform is of the party. It's like something between a party and preaching, right? Because you get sermonizing, you get people, giving a sermon of sorts, an emotive. It's very emotive. It's catchy, I'm sure, but you don't dive into the issues. And then there's the loud music, the food, the adult beverages, the pom-poms, and the T-shirt, right?
Yeah, big party. Big party. Whoever got the most money and control the best party, that's who win. I mean, it's so ridiculous, but this is Bahamian politics. And when you're talking about bringing in something like a debate where they're going to have to answer real questions, then this is a totally different ball game. I hear some people say, "Oh, I don't blame the FNM because why only Verizon Media and they bias and they ask questions for a certain outcome." Well, here's my thing. When I hear that, the truth is the truth is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I really could care less what question you ask me and what your intent is by asking me that question if I'm just relying on the truth.
Yeah.
Now, if I have a problem revealing the truth, then I might be a little nervous because I'm thinking you might ask me something that I don't want to answer. But the truth is the truth. I don't care what questions you come with. If you tell the truth, you ain't got to remember your answers. Just tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we see that kind of pushback, that argument, well, that station is biased against the government, so I don't blame them. Man, come on, man. Truth is truth.
And let me put another point on here about this. This is really important because when we talked to the debaters yesterday, one of the things we had to allay is this concern about a particular moderator being biased. Let me tell you, we're going to be coaching the moderators, and one of the things that the co-chair and I are going to do, that's Ava Turnquist and I, is saying you have to be neutral as a moderator, meaning you cannot inject your personal opinions as a moderator into the debate. Your job is to ask questions, the questions that come either as scripted questions or from the audience. Your job is to maintain order. And if someone is making a personal attack, if someone is going over their time limit, if someone is bringing new material into the rebuttal, which is supposed to address only material that has already been debated, then you can mute the person on stage. You can interject. But the one thing a moderator doesn't do is inject their personal feelings or personal values into debate. That will not happen in this debate. So I just want to put that at rest for people who think, that somehow we're aligning against a particular party, that we have a hidden agenda or something. No, this is a neutral site, the University of the Bahamas, premier tertiary institution in the Bahamas, and our moderators are operating from a neutral standpoint.
All right, so they will be moderating, point blank, moderating. All right. It should be very interesting. Pardon me?
They're moderating, not pontificating.
I hear that. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue our show. This is GPS, and you are listening to Glory 93.9 FM. Our topic today, debate dynamics.
Stop. Let
letting these other guys run you hot while looking for ice. No need to check the food store, the gas station, conveniently located around Nassau. Cooler Ice. So for just $3 US, you can get a bag of ice whenever you want, or refill your 5-gallon bottle for the same $3. The ice machine is closer than you know. Cooler Ice. With locations at Arawak Key, Potter's Key Dock, Montague Boat Ramp, Superwash locations at Prince Charles, Carmichael Road, Soldier Road, Charles Saunders Highway, and 3 new locations: Superwash Nassau Street, Wolf Road, and Gibbs Corner. Cooler Ice Bahamas, fresh and ready whenever you are.
Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy Schools on Fire Trail and Soldi Roads for more information.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. My guest today is Professor Chris Curry from the University of the Bahamas. And Professor Curry can only be with us for a few more minutes, so let's try to get in as many of our comments and questions as we can before he has to leave. So this one is from Siobhan. Siobhan says, is there a focus group for Bahamians outside the country who would like to send questions?
I can't, I see the question, Michelle. I can't hear you, but I'll try to answer that. We are looking at setting up a focus group outside the Bahamas. That's a great idea. We're certainly going to look into that. We actually have 2 different companies that we're working on for the polling that we're going to be generating from the debate. And we're using the focus groups basically for our polling, as well as general audience participants can also be a part of the polling if you're watching it on live stream. And I believe even if you have a telephone, a phone, and you want to use it while watching the television, coverage. You'll be able to use your app on the phone to make sure that you're able to be involved in the polling. But I get that point. I think it's a really good idea to have a focus group outside the Bahamas, our diaspora of students and other persons who've left the Bahamas but are still connected to the Bahamas.
Now, Chris, I need you to give me a thumbs up when you can hear us, because we have a caller on the line, and I would like you to be able to hear.
I still can't hear.
Okay, not sure what's going on there. Okay, caller, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Let me come. I'm Michelle Johnson. Let me come back when you can hear me.
Well, the thing though, Cialan, is he has to leave in about 5 minutes. So, I don't know what's happening.
Just my question is, I'm trying to find out what designate. You can ask him this question. What designates?
He can't hear me either. Cialan, why don't you type the question? Because he just dropped out. Why don't you type the question on Facebook, and then he's able to see the comments. So hopefully, if he comes back on, I'll be able to show him the comment, and he'll be able to respond that way. How's that?
I can, but I mean, this is very simple. I'll type another question. My simple question is,
okay,
what designates the rules for one to be recognized as a political party to participate in this debate, and because it seems to be unclear for myself, like someone like myself that also happens to lead a political party,
right,
and made myself known, that has been excluded from this, but yet political individuals who claim they are not political parties seemingly are part of it.
I got your point. He dropped off the call. Thanks for calling, Cialan. He dropped off the call. I think he's having some, obviously some internet connection issues. Okay, so he's coming back on now, and hopefully he can hear us this time around.
I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So Cialan Johnson called a moment ago, and he wanted to know what are the parameters of what qualifies someone to take part in the debate, because he has I guess what you could call a smaller political party that doesn't meet the requirements that the larger ones are asking for. And yet his point just now was, and yet there are others who are being allowed and who aren't even calling themselves a political party, but are given access to what. So what are the parameters as it relates to who is invited to the table?
All right, let me answer this in an indirect way. So over the weekend, we actually had one group that dropped out, and I'm not going to name that party for confidentiality reasons. But the problem was they could not field a youth debater, all right, someone 35 years or younger. So some of these parties that are very small, they're going to be challenged to field the required person that we want for a debate. I have had a very brief conversation with Mr. Allen, Cialan Johnson, and I understand his situation. But it is going to be difficult if you don't have the candidates ratified, and if you're not a registered party. We know that there are some parties that have been registered. I think if you go to the parliamentary registrar now, you'll see there's about 11 parties that are registered, but a lot of these parties don't have full ratified candidates, and some of them don't have a youth debater, which is what we wanted, someone 35 and under for this first debate. And that was really what we used to determine who we were going to put up on the stage on May 11th.
I think his question, though, went beyond the very first debate and is asking in general about, what qualifies.
Well, what we did was we understand, too, that we only have certain space because of health protocols. We can't have 8, 9, 10 people on UB's stage. So we may have to invite others. We, for example, we were looking at doing independent candidates, and independent candidates who were not attached to the coalition in a separate debate. And so there's also, for example, the Coalition to Save the Bahamas. There's some other smaller groups, and I think Cialan Johnson represents the BDP in Grand Bahama. So we're going to look at trying to do another debate outside of the 4 that we're advertising, where we would include some of these other groups. We're trying to be all things to all men, but truthfully, that at some point you have to have a cutoff because of the number of podiums and space available on our stage at the Performing Arts Center.
Okay, I know you got to get out of here in a minute. So real quick, final thoughts as it relates to what you hope to achieve through this series of debates.
Easy answer, the deepening of the democratic process, a changing of our political culture, and a rigorous and robust debate where we actually discuss political issues and policy and platform, rather than just simply preaching what sounds good.
And are you hopeful that this is the beginning of things to come as it relates to changing the political landscape in our country?
Absolutely. I feel, it may be a little rough now, but I think we'll change the course of our political culture, and hopefully this is something you see every 5 years. If not between as well, we shouldn't wait 5 years for debates, but definitely leading into general elections, we should always have these things.
Great. Well, Professor Curry, thank you so much for the time that you were able to give us today. I really appreciate you being here. And all the best with the debates coming up. I'm sure you guys are going to have a huge audience. And we'll
I really
see.
appreciate it. Thank you so much, Michelle. Take care.
Thank you for being here. All right. So for the rest of the show, it's just going to be my audience and I. And we might as well continue this whole question of debating in the country and why some political leaders apparently are not so willing to come and account to you as to what is going on or what their plans are for your future. So let me read a couple of your comments. Anton says, in my humble opinion, the PMs still seem to lack good counsel. The fact that he refuses to debate shows that he and his party are bereft of ideas now and for the future of the country. Simply unacceptable. The governing party seems to be running to the hills. We are now a much more informed electorate. The voice of the people will be heard at the polls. All right, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. I have to call and apologize to that person who said that I irks them. Okay, we have the solution. My name is Bernice Johnson, and I shared that. So I didn't call to apologize to that listener because it's a divine delight to just call my name, former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram name, because as the speaker is in a quandary right now, he said that they were told to destroy Hubert Alexander Ingram. That's all. I love you people and the solutions. You will not suffer. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thank you for calling. All right. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's see. I have another comment here by Tanisha. Tanisha says, I agree they are lost, and the people that they feel that they still care about, the people they are blind. Okay, I was just trying to say that, Tanisha. Clearly, they don't care about the Bahamian people. All right. What are your thoughts? What would you like to see as it relates to accountability on the part of our hopefuls, our political hopefuls? Why do you agree or disagree that debating is the direction that we should go in? I remember when Loretta Butler Turner was on my show several weeks ago, and I brought up this whole question of debating, and she said, well, that's not really our system. Our system is that debate would take place in the House of Assembly. And my point to her at that time was, well, that's how it's supposed to be. But clearly that is not what is happening in our country today, because in the House of Assembly, that has been so watered down that there isn't any debate going on in there. People walk in there with their prepared speech that somebody else wrote for them, and that most times they don't understand what they're reading. And then they come in and they read, and then everybody else bang on the table, bang, 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 bang. And then maybe one or two persons say, on a point of order, I disagree with this, or table that. And then that's it. And quite frankly, I don't think that we are benefiting, when I say we, the Bahamian people, from that level of debate, if you want to call it that. And I do remember, I'm old enough to remember, that there used to be real debate in the House of Assembly. You couldn't walk in there, apart from your speaker's notes. You couldn't walk in there with no prepared speech. You had to come in there and debate what you were hoping to bring to the fore in the House of Assembly. It was real debate. But I tell you, our parliament has been so watered down when it comes to this, that maybe we need to re-examine our system and not only rely on what's done in the House of Assembly, because that ain't cutting it. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, Michelle, how you doing?
Hey, C. Allen.
Just for the note, the rules of the House still exist right now today that you're not allowed to read your debate. That rule has never been changed.
Well, they ain't following the rules then.
That's why I've always called for them to let's begin to follow the rule. And if you don't have anything to say nothing. Absolutely. But essentially, just for the record, right? The political party I lead is called United Democratic Party, the UDP, formerly represented by Mr. Gregory Morse in the last sitting at the House of Assembly. Any rules that they set for debate can be met if they send it to us. First of all, I spoke to the parliamentary office. There is no law requiring registration of political parties. They have no list of political parties that is sanctioned or recognized as such. And so, I'm always concerned, even when, say, someone like the University of the Bahamas, the purveyor of knowledge, colleges share information. Universities create information, which when properly comprehended is knowledge. And they should know what the rules are. I mean, at 10:30 today, I spoke to the parliamentary office, just trying to get clarity on this issue, even before knowing what your show was about concerning it. Because for me, I have a challenge. I have a personal challenge. Let me do it on your show right now. I am looking, as leader of the UDP, for a bias debate. Let me tell you what I mean by bias debate.
Please.
I want to debate Brave Davis. I want Fred Mitchell to be the moderator. I want to debate Hubert Minnis, and I want his chairman to be the mediator.
So how would that work?
Because I want the biasness. See, I want to be able to penetrate the intellectual dishonesty and the arrogance of ignorance that has permeated our country for so long. We are in a whole new dispensation and of a new, for lack of a better word, a new world order has been established. And we can no longer use the old weapons. We are in a dispensation where ideas will rule the world, where you have the United States, Russia, and China is fighting for digital supremacy, for quantum computing, for this new reality. And we have leadership who is elaborately stating their methodology for resurrecting the dead, known as our former economy. And so in Parliament and out of Parliament, we are in crisis. The central bank governor said, we are look for some pain. When he said that we're going to borrow, that means that we have no source of income coming in. But he says we must look for borrowing that we've never seen before. The question is, who will pay this back? How will we pay this back? And this whole idea of promotion of wealth without work is pure garbage. We have unique opportunity for us to transition in this country where we bring equity, not just equality, but equity. A new social contract is needed. Mm-hmm. And it's not about winning the election. I am one I've said on your show. The power of the people is and shall always be greater than the people in power. Mm-hmm. We have leadership who's saying, send me and I will feed you. When essentially we should be telling the people how they could take control of their destiny today. Not no election going forward. Those people in the House of Assembly isn't sent there to work to the exclusion of the people, but rather one of inclusion. And so this debate of these candy talk about what is your youth plan, not just the what, how, in the actual reality of where we are today in global competing. It says that when you're not preparing, the world is, and when they meet us, they're going to beat us. We have taken on the position that let's not be afraid of the lions, because they're not going to eat us because we don't eat them. That's not how it works in the wild. Okay? And so we have to have a conversation contextually correct of to where we are today and where we'll be tomorrow, how we will get there, and who will drive these vehicles. The House of Assembly is not a place to dictate to us on how our country is to be run. You go to the House of Assembly for three things. You don't go to pick up garbage and potholes and whatever else. We pay people for that. You go to the House of Assembly for three things: legislation, laws, policies, and programs. But we have become a nanny state, a papa state, where we have our current aspirants who are seeking to perpetrate this whole thing, where data and technology is democratizing the world, and the world is shifting. We can't have conversations of the past. We we must now stand in the future and plot a path for leadership must stand in the future and plot a path for all behemoths to join them there. But we're not having these conversations. We're having who's the least corrupt amongst us, meaning that we must be all corrupt. Who's the least inept, meaning that we must all be inept. Who's the least incapable? I mean, we're not having real conversations. And I'm simply saying is that I am prepared. I am prepared personally to involve myself in that debate. It's not about winning an election. It is about changing the direction we'll go. I want a coalition of independents to choose 2 people from amongst them to be moderators. I want the DNA to have Omar Smith to be the moderator in our debate. Okay? I don't want the platitudes. I want an all-out fight for the future of our country. This is for my daughters, my sons, my nieces, my nephew, my aunts, my cousins, and all behemoths. I've sat on the sideline for too long. I say to those third parties and to the PLP and FNM, power is not given. It must be taken. And I'm saying the Bahamian people is coming back for their power, and they will be looking for people to go into the House of Assembly and act on their authority, not to govern over them or lord over them.
So let me ask you something, C. Allen. Based on all that you would have said just now, it sounds like you're not confident that this debate series is going to be, what's the word I'm looking for, impactful in terms of making any real change?
Who gives questions? What happens is you don't give questions for somebody to prepare. You have a debate. You're talking about a multitude of faceted that governs us. When you have the leadership of a country, you have immigration, you have our natural resources, you have our national security, you have our economic zone. What is your position on global warming? What are you going to do? We're threatened. In 30 years, we may be almost to the point where we become nomads. What are we doing to fight? We talk about aragonite. Oh, we're going to sell it. Oh, really? How about listing the Bahamas, utilizing technology? People are building worlds, whatever. We're going to sell the aragonite we need to preserve us from being wiped out by global warming? These things are, almost like they sound good. And these are about stimulating the emotion. We need conversation that stimulate the intellect. We have behemoths that excel in almost every discipline in the world for a country of 400,000 people or even less when you go back. But they cannot thrive in their own country. This is not my description, though. In the Nassau Guardian, in December ago, it described the Bahamas as being one of the most digitally prepared countries in the world. But where we are, that was before COVID. We are in a whole new digital dispensation, and we talk about building. We said, we feel comfortable from planting cotton to folding cotton. I mean, we don't own anything. We have cruise ships in this country now telling us what's good for us. They said, don't worry about the people. We're going to take the people, keep them in our hotels called the boat, but you guys will get to show them how on the beach. You get to rent them chairs on the beach. Imagine if they have high net worth clients worth $100,000 or more, and they say you will be able to charge, you'll be able to make $5, let them use a chair on the beach should they come off. What type of madness this is? We are selling our country for a bowl of porridge because we have leadership who is not just stuck in the past, they are cemented in the past in their thinking and their ideology. It is time, behemoths, it says nothing. It says power concedes nothing without a demand. You cannot demand anything on your knees. Behemoths must get up off their knees and stop begging. We must now take back this so-called illusion of power we have given to our members of parliament and begin to have them govern for us individually and collectively. And we have not been having that. And for the whole 1+ year of COVID, we haven't heard a single idea that deals with the future. We haven't. And I challenge the DDA, the BDM, the DNA, the Coalition of Independence, the Kingdom Government Movement, the Righteous Government Movement, the Coalition to Save the Bahamas, the PLP, the FNM, and whoever else is there. C. Allen Johnson says, I am the lowest stem, the lowest fruit on an international standard. If you can't get past me, you're not ready for the world. And I say, let's have a conversation. The debate is a zero-sum game. But if you want to have a conversation of the better Bahamas we could build, I'm open to that also. But let's have it in the public domain. not where you have individuals pirating ideas and parroting as if it is theirs and saying it so badly. No, Michelle, I am more afraid of the arrogance of ignorance being displayed in the utterances of Bahamian alternative party leaders than I am from the silence due to the ignorance of the major political party leadership. That's what scares me right now.
I saw that post on your Facebook page. I said,
They scare me. They're dangerous. What is being offered by some of these third parties is dangerous. Let's use an example. You have the Coalition of Independents saying they're going to give everybody 100,000. 90% of Bahamians make under 25,000. Who's going to work tomorrow? So now that you have disrupted the economy, hyperinflation, they move out of the Bahamas. Who are you emptying the Bahamas for? See, these things sound good. None of them could stand up to scrutiny. But what you have is University of Bahamas and others going to create Kian silos environment where intellectual discourse is devoid of it. I want you to question my competence. I want you to question my ability. I don't want an attack of personalities. I want a battle of ideas. And I want you to challenge what I say is possible, and I want to be able to challenge yours. That's what this country needs. We don't need no more of the same. When it comes to the University of Bahamas or anybody else, I say to the Bahamians, we have the ability to play a part in the world. I don't want to sit at no table. I want to build the next table and have the world sit at mine. Thank you.
Wow, Cialan. Thanks so much for calling. That's a mouthful right there. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue the conversation about the debate dynamics. What would you like to see a debate look like in this country for our political aspirants? And should we stop there? Should we invite others who are major stakeholders in the country to face off against each other? Because I think a part of our problem is that we only look into the politician when there are so many others who have a very important role to play. Should we be hearing from them as well? Stay with us. This is GPS.
Glory 93.9 FM, the people's favorite gospel station.
Ocean blue is the best in seafood, hey, hey. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. We got fish, conch, lobster, shrimp, everything you want, Ocean Blue got it. Ocean Blue, friendly and clean, best service you ever seen. Ocean Blue is the best in seafood, yeah. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. Ocean Blue Seafood, we are here for you. Ocean Blue Seafood, no one else will do. Ocean Blue Seafood, located on Burnett Road. Contact us at 393-2160.
At the Shirley Street Plaza, you'll find Le Petit Gourmet, a small cafe that's big on flavor. Handcrafted delights made with love will not only please your palate, but feed your soul. Call us at 394-1251. 8 to 12 minutes is all it takes for a burglar to rob your home or business. Security Systems International provides professional and affordable solutions for both. Call 396-5000 for your customized quote. Gwen's Alterations provides professional services for all your tailoring needs, including face masks to keep you safe and in style. A stitch in time saves 9. So call us today at 393-6227.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing Fast-Acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting sugar-free berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and today we're talking debate dynamics. For the first hour and 15 minutes thereabouts, we had Professor Chris Curry from the University of the Bahamas on to talk about this debate series that they have been working on along with Verizon Media. And the first debate, he revealed, is going to be rolled out on the 11th of this month, when I think he said 6 representatives from the various political parties will they will represent the youth arm of those parties to debate about issues that affect youth. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, Michelle. What a wonderful contribution by C. Allen. However, I just want to leave on the record, Michelle. Mm-hmm. That is why when you see me take to the airwaves and speak about any contravention or discrimination of my fundamental rights as it relates to my constitutional God-given right to own and occupy a business license in the country, mm-hmm. and to be offended by foreigners, foreign companies. See, I'm not just looking at the employees, because I'm looking at the employees' employer, parent and or affiliated companies, the members and directors on every tier.
I need you to be brief because we have other callers trying to get in.
I understand that. So I'm saying I agree with C. Allen to say that is why I hold on so serious to what little else I have left. You understand?
Right. Okay.
And don't allow people to just take it from you and, debate them on any level. Standing up is debate. The truth don't need to be debated anyway. All right? God bless.
Thank you for calling back. We had another caller. That call just dropped. So caller, please call back. And we'll be able to get you on now that the line is free. Okay, so in the meantime, Christoph says we need a different forum to answer real questions. All right. And Bertha says, it's those same people why we in this mess today looking out for their party until Bahamians change their mindset, then we see real changes come to the Bahamas. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, ma'am. I didn't call back to address Mrs. Johnson, but I apologize if I hurt her feelings. That being said, I asked the professor to explain banana republics, mm-hmm. right? And he defined it very well. I appreciate that. But I don't know if we as Bahamians, we go red or yellow, and whoever's the leader, we turn it into mortal gods, demigods. And they have, after that, they have the rights to do anything over like this, what this man is doing right now. Mm-hmm. I never had a vaccine in my life. I never thought I need one. Now to work or go somewhere, this man's going to inject me with Bill Gates experiments that he got kicked out of Africa for and come to these poor countries. You see how these things, start when we put these guys in the position of this authority, most competent and all that stuff. We just become a banana republic. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Okay. Let's go back to some of your comments from Facebook. So Delphine says, why isn't the person who wants to run this country not debating now? I know some want to, but what about the others? Okay. Thank you so much, Delphine. Try to hide the comment. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so C. Allen again, I guess this was prior to him calling in. C. Allen said, I can meet any rules once they are provided. No rules are provided. There is no such thing as a registered party in the Bahamas. I have spoken to the parliamentary office as recent as 10:30, and they have no listing of parties and no laws governing their same. And he goes on to say he represents the United Democratic Party, formerly represented by Gregory Moss in the last session of the House of Assembly. Tanisha says, do they really debate in the House? Laugh out loud. Michelle, you are right. We, the Bahamian people, do not benefit. We certainly do not. Sheldon says, wow, C. Allen Johnson, wow, well said and articulate. So this is what should be echoed in our parliament. Delphine says, now Mr. Allen is right on the mark. Thank you, Mr. Allen. We are fighting for our country. We need a debate with all leaders. Let's see. Clarice says, I understand the bias moderator concept. The world would be able to see the truth in all parties on the platform based on the moderator's response. The appearance of idolatry some supporters have for their leaders will be seen if the moderator is biased. Deal with the facts and reality of the response of all together, the truth, and the best response to the question asked. If your leader's answer is not as good as the opponent, then the moderator must be unbiased in his or her response or lack. Yeah, I don't know if we can handle that format. I ain't gonna lie. It'll be interesting, but I don't know if I think we could handle that. I think it would be good to have some neutral people as the moderators, preferably persons from the media who are not afraid to ask the questions. Okay, Tara says, ain't one soul have to go through Allen and his crew who died and his name, Jesus talk is cheap? Okay. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Yes, congratulations for coming to the home channel. I was following you from all over.
Thank you.
The debate, right? They have a lie detector there. Because if they ain't no lie detector there, this the Son of God.
Oh, Father.
Yeah. If they know the lie detector there, what could come out of it? Because when they go in there,
Mom could say anything.
Could do as they see fit.
Mom could say anything.
That's right. Like the Prime Minister say he did promise everything when he was campaigning, but when he get into office, he say he have the rights to change his mind. So if he have the rights to change his mind when he get in office, why don't he put in plan a law saying if you have a right to change your mind and when you get in office, let the people them have a right to change their mind and vote again. And why they don't put a law in Parliament saying what you don't campaign on, you don't do. So now if you campaign on something, when you get in the House of Parliament, you have to start working on that. Now if you don't work on that, let the people then vote again when they don't see no plans passing to get you out. Because when they get in there, you can tell me I got to wait whole 5 years for you to do as you see fit, and only a group of people them prospering whilst the rest of us catching hell, and you bring in other people who has a law in their constitution say no matter where you go, you're a Haitian, and you want to give them crown land so they could give them our citizenship so they could vote. And then when you come to final, that there are people them who changing from voting between all two of them, which is the same thing. Now they see they moving away from you all, so you are bringing these people, and that's all they're bringing them for, saying Bahamians them don't want work. No, Bahamians them don't want work for little nothing. You got the gas prices them so high in this land, and you won't open yet. And before you was in this pandemic, the gas wasn't that high. You think they worrying about the next election? They worrying about the next borrowing. And they pulling these wool over your eyes, and they pulling these things in the front of your face to cause you to change your mind from the things what they're really doing. And what they're really doing is keeping the people in poor from 1973. Keep the people poor, and you can control them better. And program the people to look at yellow and gold and green and whatever. But don't look at how we can put the bill on you. You see? So I ain't too particular about no debate or anything like that. Put one lie detector there, and when put something, and when you get in office, to say, if what we campaign on, if we don't start working on it, let the people them come together again after 2 years and get you out. See, they say now you are, they worry, some people will say they worry, but the people when they get in there, they swear to the Queen. The Queen tell them, give the land to the people. But when they get in there, they won't give the land to the talking, but you need business people. And then say if you tax them, by the click of the mouse, they'll turn away, but let them turn away. You see? But give the people them land and so forth, in the next so many years, the farmers them, we could feed ourselves. And then you will come to the vaccine saying, before it started off from this vaccine, they said, we're going to take this vaccine and it's going to be the cure for that virus, for the virus. But come to find out, now they're telling you the vaccine isn't the cure the virus. Because why? They can lose over on that money what they talking about testing. So now they come up with another plan saying we get the vaccine in to cure you is to help build up your immune system to fight against this illness that you wouldn't be so sick. And then help your immune system. If you want to help my immune system, drop the prices on the things what to build up my immune system, which is fruits and so forth.
Caller, you making plenty sense.
And the leaves.
You're making plenty sense. Make it easier for you to eat healthy. I got you.
That's right. So like I'm saying, you know, don't like God tell you, watch out for people coming to you appearing like they are sheep but they are wearing wolves. They ain't mean you no good.
All right.
But welcome to the home station. And I can hear you say one time, say it's a Christian station. No, it isn't a Christian station. It's a redemption station.
God praise the Lord.
You see, a redemption station. Listen to the music what we play. They ain't just psalms and hymns.
All right.
You see, they spiritual song.
Got it.
And call yourself what God call you. A son or a daughter of God, or a queen or a princess.
All right.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you so much for calling.
All right, now.
All righty. Wow. He has some very valid points, particularly as it relates to why aren't we saying, y'all know my thing is health. Why aren't you making it easier for your people to be healthier? I've been singing that. All right, let's take a couple of your comments from Facebook. So Felicia says, man, $100,000 is not a lot of money. I feel insulted that people think that as a Bahamian, I would feel rich after that. We can barely buy a good piece of property in the Bahamas for $100,000. Well, child, Felicia, plenty people agree with you on that, because plenty people, $100,000, that's Christmas and New Year's and everything wrapping together. What? $100,000? Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you, but for some people, that is a windfall. You know, so I understand what C. Allen was trying to say. $100,000 for some people is pocket change. And for other people, that's 4 years way to work. So it's all relative to where you find yourself in the equation. Let's see. So Tira says, first of all media outlets in the Bahamas are compromised, including this one. All right, Tara, you're welcome to your opinion, my dear. Okay, let's see. Felicia again says, $100,000 to each Bahamian will not disrupt our economy. What is disrupting our economy is the high cost of living and the low wages. The average Bahamian is struggling to survive here. All right. C. Allen says, tell the commentator or texter, I said I am the lowest fruit in the new world digital reality. If our leaders can't get past me, how are they to compete with the globally prepared countries? If they are to lead me, show me you are better capable than me leading myself. Every Bahamian should demand the same. I disagree with you on that one, C. Allen. Carla is agreeing with our last caller. She says this man is talking truth. All right. And Bertha says, allow him to vent, Michelle. And Siobhan says, God bless your heart, Michelle, we feel you. You know, this whole question of the format of the debate is very, very important, but I'm just really happy to see that a debate is coming. Because from even when I was a reporter back in the day, I was trying to make it happen. And you all know how long ago that was. And these politicians, just many of them don't want to give account. They don't want to give account. And I would like to cry shame on the Free National Movement. Yes, I said it. For ducking, because that's all it boils down to, ducking. Because if you had any real concerns about the format of the debate, I'm sure you could have come to the table and say, well, we really want to participate, but we have some concerns in this area. And yeah, I hear Professor Curry saying that they're talking to them now, but you notice he was very careful not to say, well, you know, that was going to change anything as it relates to them coming to the table and being a part of the debate. I just think it is despicable, ludicrous, that you as the leader of this country are not willing to participate in a debate. Who do you think you are? That you don't have to give account to the very people who put you there in the first place. I think it is both a degree of arrogance and in addition to arrogance, I think there's some degree of, I have to be very careful how I say this because I don't want to get myself or the station in any problems, but you have to question what you're trying to hide. What are you afraid will come out? What are you trying to hide? What questions do you not want to answer? Because that's how it looks. If that's not the case, it certainly is the perception that you're not showing up to this debate because you're trying to hide something or you're afraid to answer some questions. Why? What are you afraid of? What are you concerned that if we really find out, it's going to cause a problem? I just think it's really despicable that the governing party has decided not to participate in this process. All y'all doing is making yourself look like you're scared to face the truth. You're scared to face the people. You're scared to answer questions. And quite frankly, this falls in line with everything else y'all have been doing along those lines. I see now where government agencies are calling press conferences without the press. Like how you, the other day you have a press conference and do invite the press. How you do that? So what they doing nowadays is they are recording themselves speaking to what they want to speak to, and then sending that to the media and say, here, you all distribute this for us. But we ain't inviting the press to the press conference because we ain't want to answer your questions. So we can put out there what we want to put out there and we can send it to you all. That's what they doing now, people. That's what happening in this Bahamas now. A press conference without the press. What kind of madness is this? Y'all that scared to face questions? And if you are, why? Are you hiding something? Whether it be just simply your incompetence or something worse. Why y'all scared to face questions? And you know, I don't care how much you support a party. Come on, man. You can't try to justify wrong. And you can't tell me that is right. You can't tell me you don't have a problem with that. Even if we won't go beyond them not participating in the debate, because you say, okay, this particular media house who doing this thing, they a little biased against us, so we don't want to participate in your debate. Okay, fine. So why are you having press conference without the press? Bad enough when you was inviting the press, you was trying to limit them to 2 questions with no follow-up. But even that you don't want to do no more. The people calling press conference without the press. And this is why somebody asked earlier to define a banana republic, because this kind of behavior right here is very banana republic-ish. People, we need to be very concerned when leaders try to discredit or ignore the media. We need to be concerned. That is a very dangerous thing. And if you don't believe me, just go do some research with history and dictatorship. And one of the first things that dictators do around the world is they try to silence the media. Silence anybody who has the nerve to question them. That's what's going on in this Bahamas right now. Y'all better wake up. Wake up. Because bad enough, you only want to answer questions. Now you're ducking left, right, and center. You're ducking the debate. Now you're having press conference with no press. You're all jokey bad. You're all really, really jokey. And people still trying to defend this madness. Y'all better stop. Because our democracy, if it goes up in flames, everybody will suffer. Ain't no one particular party can suffer more than the next. All of us, red, green, yellow, whatever color, will suffer if this democracy goes to hell. We have to, above all, protect our democracy. And it is a very, 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 very big red flag when you see your leaders don't want to face questions. That's a dangerous, dangerous place we are in. These people treading on some dangerous ground, and we sitting back here allowing it to happen. I never thought in all my born days, like we say here in the Bahamas, that I would see a press conference called and the press not be invited. What kind of banana republic is this we running? And so I support the debate. I think it's a wonderful idea. And I say kudos to all who have accepted the invitation to be a part of the debate, because it would be great to hear your ideas and to see how you square off against each other, especially the non-scripted questions, because I agree with Sienna, anybody could put together a nice answer to a scripted question. But when you got to face a question that's non-scripted, that's another thing. It would be great to see how they square off against each other and to see whether these people have any kind of plans at all, or they just, come in with some nice slogans that they think could capture people's attention. But for those of you who have decided to ignore this, and it's despicable. It's ridiculous. And my only suggestion is to the rest of y'all, ask the question, why? Why are these people so scared to face questions? Last call of the day, because we only got 3 minutes left in the show. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle, how you doing?
Good.
Good. My thing is this debate, and the PM don't want to join this debate. This should open the people's eyes something else. Because if you want us to vote for you, but you don't have the heart to come out and discuss the national importance and stuff that you willing to, and tell us where you're willing to take this country, something's wrong with that.
Yeah, it's a very, very serious red flag.
It is serious. So the women people, put down these party colors and listen intently what they're doing, And you have a good day.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. So I can leave you all with this. My baby people, the boy, y'all tribalistic, but So we have a text, a commenter on Facebook, Livardo. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce your first name. Says they don't want to invite the media. Okay, then the media has the right to follow them everywhere they go and watch and listen to everything they say and do. Now, Livardo, I don't know if you being facetious with that comment or if you dead serious. And I hope you're just being tongue in cheek. We can't justify that. I don't care how you slice it. You can't justify trying to avoid questions from the media. I shouldn't have to be stalking you to get answers for the people of this country. And that, in essence, is what you are suggesting, that the media need to stalk them, ambush them, to get them to account to the very people who put them there. Something is terribly wrong with that. So yeah, I hope you was joking. All right, got to get out of here, y'all. That's my time. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Listen, if you are looking for a place to have some good, delicious lunch, why not go check out Le Petit Gourmet in the Shirley Street Plaza, one of our sponsors. The food there is absolutely delicious. And while you're there, go take care of your security needs with its Security Systems International. And if you get a little rip in your clothes, go check out Gwen's Alterations, all in the Shirley Street Plaza. And support all of our sponsors. If you see them advertised on the show, please go and support them. Please, because this show cannot exist without their support. Thank you to Executive Printers and all that you have done to support me. Pierre DePuche, I really appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. That's going to do it, guys. Got to get out of here. I'm Michelle Malcolm. I will see you tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday, and we're going to address the final chapter, Chapter 7, Minerals. Big topic tomorrow. Don't you dare miss it. Take care. See you guys later.